It is the homemade broadcast. It is episode 545. You know what time it is? 6 p.m. Wednesday, live stream. Or maybe you can listen later. That's the nice thing about online streaming, podcasting. It's a la carte, but it's much more fun live, I think. So thank you for being here with us. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. We do this. That's right. Thank you, Anna. EST. And we're on Rumble. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, Anna Hummel. My name is Will Kuncz.
Hello. Thank you.
What's going on? What it do?
God, what were we talking about?
A lot. We were talking
covered
about a lot of things.
We have some ideas for maybe a new podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, alternative history facts with Anna and Will, where we just make up, horrendous stories about the past, about beloved historical figures, and just make up, ridiculous stories about them and try to pass it off as real information.
Of course, now that we have the new president coming in, you're allowed to provide disinformation and misinformation. It'll be like drunk history a little bit. We'll be completely sober, and it will be probably not as good as drunk history, but it'll be there.
We can be drunk.
We can.
It's hard to tell with you, but
we should just
quite obvious.
Yeah, we should just rip. We'll just do drunk history.
All right.
We'll call it something else.
That works.
Drunk historical disinformation, misinformation.
I like that.
With Anna Hummel and Will Kuncz. You can go first. You can
that.
you can be first on that billing.
Yes.
I like that. Well, welcome. We are back. It's week 2. I had a very eventful week. I had to get a hotel room on Friday or Thursday night, and it was kind of last second. Do you know, I kind of assumed that, and I should have known better in the economy, the way it is, but I was like, there's like $60 hotel rooms out there.
Yeah.
I'll find one of those.
Yeah.
No, those don't exist anymore. That's not a thing.
Would you ever look into a motel room?
I think, I depended on Google to find me a place.
Yeah.
And it just gave me a list of like corporate type of place. I'm not familiar with other motels, I know there are, but I don't know where one is.
I could point you in the direction of a few.
There's a guy that does a YouTube channel where he stays at really like rat motels and reviews them. I've been meaning to watch.
That's a great idea, but like you're gonna get stabbed.
Potentially.
You're gonna get stabbed. There will be pimps on site.
I'd be more worried about, I'd rather get stabbed than have bed bugs. I'd be more worried about bed bugs.
I kind of get that as someone who has OCD.
Yeah.
I kind of get that.
But
I'd probably still go with the bugs, because I can still bathe in bleach. I can't really do that if I get stabbed.
You could.
Yeah, I don't know how much it would help the situation when I'm bleeding out.
Speaking of medical, I'm glad this is a good transition.
Perfect segue.
Too. They had I went to my annual physical. We've already reviewed those results. Surprisingly healthy, but really fat is my current medical.
I ask you some personal questions?
Yep.
Well, we already determined that your weight was 353.
And that's not true. That's not true.
It was 285.
Yeah.
285. Better than expected.
No. No.
Better than I expected. I guess
that's true.
18 pounds heavier than that.
Yeah.
I guess to cool 303. I apologize.
That's messed up.
Can I be honest? I saw like a video online where you get weighed, and if you weigh over 350 pounds, you get into the restaurant for free.
Yes.
And
I've seen that. Is that the heart attack grill?
Yeah. So I think I was looking at that video, and then a few days later I saw you, and I was like, well, that was a woman, and she was 380. So I was like, maybe it was 303. So that's why I think it threw me off a little bit.
Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, I don't think I look that bad. Like, you're looking down. And I'm like, I don't really feel like my gut's that big or anything. And then I catch a profile shot in the mirror and I'm like, well, how does that happen? What is the deal? Yeah. What is the deal with side profiles?
Yeah, they're not always the most flattering. But what I was going to ask you is, do you know your body fat percentage?
I would admit, no, but I would imagine it's high. I don't know. I don't know if it's I mean, I can tell you this. I don't know what is more, my body fat percentage or the bill that I got. So I have a deal worked out where I essentially pay like a Netflix for doctors, and you pay a subscription. It's like $65 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and you can do telehealth. You can go see him. You know, you can make an appointment. You can go see your doctor, and he's a physician's assistant, so he's not really like a MD, but he has an MD that reviews his charts.
Is it Ben?
What?
What's his first name?
Eric.
Eric.
Yeah.
I knew it was like, oh well, never mind.
My man Eric.
Two
Yeah.
syllables.
But he's a good guy. I like him, and he's, you know, he's given some questionable advice over the years, but I like him. I'm so sticking with him. And frankly, I don't have much of a choice right now. I had insurance
Yeah.
for a brief time, and I don't anymore. So I'm sticking with E-Dog. And so he's got a deal though where he has an agreement somehow. The healthcare system is a scam in the country. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But he's got a deal worked out. So he charges me for labs, and they're very reasonable. So it was my monthly, and you can see the doctor as much as you want. So it's $65. You can see him as much as you want. You can call, you can
For a
text.
buffet style.
Buffet style.
You could
medical.
see him every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a waste of your time and his, but you could see him every day.
Yes.
$65 a month.
Right. And
that's
then
not including obviously like any prescriptions or anything like
prescriptions don't, yeah, that's out of pocket, but he's got a deal worked out with those two. I was taking a cholesterol medication for a while. I stopped taking that because I just don't want to. Yeah. I don't want to take anything. I'm going to risk it. Up my fiber intake, not take the statin. But anyway, so whatever services he performs, like let's say I have a deep cut, I can go see him for the 65, but then he's going to charge me for the material to stitch me up with, the stitches, and the, you know, not the labor, but the actual
materials.
Product. Yeah, the material. And that's fair. That's fine. And he's got a deal worked out. So the labs where he charged me for them, they were $62, I think. And that was just like a full blood panel of what you would need for a year, you know.
Oh, that's $62?
That's it. Yeah. And that's great.
Phenomenal.
And that's out of, you know, you're just paying cash for that. So I thought. A few days later, I get my results. I called him. We went over them. Then I get a bill, and it's LabCorp.
Ooh, can I guess?
Yeah.
So I think the 62 was just the appetizer to the rest of the cost. I'm gonna say it was like $750.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head. 700.
No,
it's like $760 something dollars.
760?
Something like that. It might have been $750.
Nailed it.
But I saw that, and my BH went into full tilt, turning coal into diamonds territory, because I'm not paying that clearly. And I let him know, and he was kind of just like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Sometimes that happens. We'll get it straightened out. We'll let him know.
What does that mean? That like we tried to scam you, but we didn't get away with it. So
well, it's not. So it'd be paid to LabCorp. So right now, I think what happened was they don't realize that I'm under the jurisdiction of this deal that he's worked out.
I see.
So once they correct it in their system, no big deal. But the big takeaway from that is you can do that service, that blood work, for $62. And there's probably some markup there where he's making a little bit, maybe even half. So let's say he's pulling in half from his time and taking the blood. So it's really like $30 for a lab to run your blood work and get all that information. And they're charging people without insurance $760. What? I mean, it's broken. We know it's broken.
I mean, insurance is even worse.
That is, it's worse for. I thought it was free if you had insurance.
No. I mean, like the insurance companies charge the hospitals X amount of dollars, then you have to get like the refund. Like it's just a massive scam where they just upcharge everything.
Well, they do that because then there's people who are uninsured that come in and get treatment, and I've been one of those too that I've had to go to the hospital, and then they were like, "Do you have insurance?" I'm like, "No," and they're like, "Okay, sign this paper," and then they just write it off. But they don't write it off. Like that's not a thing. You're not getting anything for free. They just pass it along. So they fold the costs into their services, which then they bill insurance. It's just such a mess.
I've been uninsured for a while, but I got like some sort of test, or I talked to a doctor one time. They're like, do you have insurance? Because if I didn't have insurance, because my insurance was so crappy, that the copay would have been like, I don't know, $200 because the insurance costs so much. You know what I mean? So then they have to do not the refund, but the I forget what you call it, whatever. But if you don't have insurance and they don't have to deal with all that BS, then it's only like saw a doctor for like $80 just straight out of pocket because they don't have to deal with the insurance companies. So the only way that insurance is helpful is if you have a chronic issue or in the event that something major happens, like you get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
But for someone who's in perfect health, like me, for example, having insurance is basically not the move.
I don't know. And I agree with you, and I'm sure you are in good health. I'm not trying to scare you or anything, but if there's anything I've learned from the weekly checkup and talking to Lifeguard Imaging, which is the full body, and this is not sponsored. Don't worry, this isn't sponsored, but they had people that come in that are, super healthy, and then their calcium score is really high.
Yeah, that can't happen.
It's just genetics.
The LP little a. I don't know if they talk about that.
No.
It's like a cholesterol thing. But
have you gotten your cholesterol checked?
I haven't gotten a calcium score.
Okay.
So yeah, you're right. There's a possibility I could be on the road to death.
Garbage on the inside.
Yeah. But it's unlikely. It's unlikely.
It's unlikely.
Yes, it's unlikely. So I'll take my chances.
Yeah, that was very scary to get that bill. Supposedly I don't have to worry about it, although I keep getting reminders that they're going to send me to collections if I don't pay soon.
And
I'm just not paying. So not much I can do about it. We have other news too, Anna, which is that I cannot believe it.
It's kind of exciting.
It's not, though.
The triple threat?
Triple threat. They always say that things come in threes. We have another storm, another hurricane that could potentially be not only like being close to us, but
directly
hitting us directly, which is absolutely horrifying. What's its name?
Sarah.
That's right. Maybe November, but the tropics are still showing signs of life. A disturbance in the Caribbean has likely become tropical depression in the coming days, which I believe it already has now. Some models show the potential storm entering the Gulf of Mexico and making a turn towards Florida. But with these long-range predictions, it's too early to tell where it will go. So this is what they got so far, which is pretty much anywhere, the whole state of Florida here. If you look, Anna, if you're listening on audio, you're not going to see it, but essentially it's the pass here, the spaghetti models early on from the tip of, like Destin all the way up in the Panhandle. All the way down to like Key West is pretty much in the line of fire as of right now. So it's probably a pretty good indicator that this is going to hit somewhere in Florida.
On the West Coast.
On the West Coast, where we just got ravaged this year. I've lived here my entire life. We've never got it this bad.
Really?
It's always Chief Tokabaga's looking out for us.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. He has abandoned us.
To be fair, could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse.
Sure, yeah.
Could have been, Ian for Florida, or not for Florida, for Tampa. Excuse me.
I mean, listen. I see one right here.
Yeah,
this
the blue
track that's just going right up the bay, which would be the worst case scenario. Obviously, we all know. I don't know what strength it's going to be. I've seen some models, and it looks pretty strong to me when it comes through. This one, for some reason, I'm just like, I don't know if it's just arrogance or just being a battered wife at this point, but I'm just like, I'm not going to do anything for it.
Yeah, that was kind of the discussion that I had today at my house as well. Mostly because all the wood has been returned to Home Depot and Lowe's, and the boyfriend was like, "Yeah, no, we'll just ride this one out however we need to."
There's still crap everywhere, though.
Yeah, but there is a cold front coming this weekend, so there is a chance that it could dissipate. I
think it's going to keep it away from us right now. But then when that moves through, then it goes, oh, okay, now I can move about.
I don't know how weather works well, but I know that would help. That's all I know.
Yeah. High pressure.
High pressure. Low pressure is the problem.
Low pressure is the storm.
Low pressure is the storm.
High pressure is no rain.
And warm water feeds the speed and the strength. So we want cold water.
Cold water. Run
it on cold.
That's right. Take cold showers for the next week or so. So it looks like probably by next podcast day, I don't know if we'll have one next week, a live stream, because we might be experiencing another hurricane.
Yeah, that would be crazy. We'll see. I mean, it's kind of a little funny at this point. Like, I almost want it to happen to be like, can you believe? Can you believe?
I would like to think too that if we do get this one, we're good for like the rest of my life.
Probably not.
I remember I got in 3 car accidents in a period of like 6 months. Well, I better knock on wood here, saying it out loud, but I haven't been in one since.
Okay.
So
you just think that
I think I'm good.
Okay.
For the rest of my life. I got hit.
You also barely drive now. You've barely driven in the last 5 years. You've driven a handful of 5 times. So
not quite
that could probably help.
Yeah.
The probability is much lower if you're off the road, obviously.
True. I mean, listen, I'm not gonna deny that fact, but I'm just thinking I'm good. Like, we'll never have to worry about another motor vehicle accident. I got them all out of the way in that 6-month period 10 years ago.
Let me ask you this, because this upcoming March will be the 5th anniversary of COVID. Do you feel like you're still in the COVID fog, or do you feel like you've come out of it?
I've been long done with it.
No, in the sense of like time warped during COVID, where it was like 2020, 21, 22. I feel like even 23 kind of all like meshed together a bit. You're like, what year was that? Like, was it 19? Was it 20, 21? It just kind of all meshed together. Do you feel like you've broken free? I feel like we have, because the election really set this year apart.
Well, the good thing about true. Well, I think with me, I can't organize my thoughts as it is. I don't know time before COVID.
Okay.
My brain's garbage. It has no, I was telling you about this earlier. Like, I went and checked I had to go into the radio station at Cox, and because I had to change my password. Every 90 days, you got to change your and you have to be at a workstation.
Yeah.
Which I put that on my time card, by the way. I charged them an hour for me to come in and
you did that today, or
because I haven't really been there
yesterday.
Yes. See, I don't know.
Oh my
Monday,
God.
I guess it was Monday.
You have Alzheimer's.
Yeah. It must have been Monday. It wasn't yesterday.
No, it was definitely Monday, because
it was Monday.
Yeah.
So I went to go check I maybe gotten 3 or 4 pieces of mail in 7 years that I've been at the radio station. Many of them have been from prisoners in jail.
Oh yeah, that was a fun
time.
A
lot. That was good times. That stopped. I don't know why.
Those away, because I thought they had like AIDS on them or something.
Yeah, you would get a bunch.
I got so many, and I would read them on the air.
Yeah.
I remember my dad called me. He was like, "Stop doing that.
You're
encouraging them to do it." And it was cool when you had 1 or 2, but then I was getting like 30.
Yeah.
And they were dirty.
Oh boy.
Like dirty prison pencils.
Yeah.
I don't know where these pencils have been. Anyway, sorry.
And so the contents weren't really dirty, but
yeah, no, the contents were, because they would talk about why they were in prison. They're like, "Oh, I molested my dog."
Oh yeah.
And I'd be like, "Interesting. What breed?"
I too have a history.
What's your type? I like mutts.
With dogs. So I already forgot what I was saying. Okay, I remember.
Mailbox.
So I was like, okay, while I'm there, I'm gonna try to avoid as many people as possible. So I went after 5 p.m.
Sure.
And I wanted to get there before 8 p.m. because I didn't want to run into anybody who potentially might be awkward to see. So I went at like 6 o'clock or something. And wanted to make sure Mo was doing his show and Spike wasn't. Oh my God, remind me to tell you about Spike too.
Okay.
Because I was listening to the radio that day because I was in the car. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So I went to go check my mailbox. We have little cubby holes where if you get mail, it's there. And I'm like, I know there's nothing there, but I'll just go run by since I'm here. Because I don't know the next time. I don't know the next time I'll be there. So surprisingly, there was nothing there. Literally, there was nothing there. I'm looking for my mailbox, my cubby hole.
Where's my name?
I know it's around here somewhere. But again, I could be looking right at it and it's just not registering. I haven't seen it in a long time. But eventually I get to the point where I'm like, my mailbox is gone. And it's got the whole staff, it's got the whole on-air staff. Gareth has a mailbox now.
Yeah. You start taking inventory of who does and doesn't have a box.
Yes. Yeah.
What? This guy's got a box.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, My box is gone. And I think Gareth took my box.
Does someone else have a box, or
What do you mean?
maybe his name rhymes with Mamish?
Yes,
He has a
does.
box.
He does
Okay,
have a
okay.
box. Yes. Everybody, the full on-air staff has a box.
Yeah.
And I think
Not Billy. Not you.
not me anymore. And I think that Dizzy took it, which makes me even more.
What do you
kinda
mean?
mad.
How could someone take it?
Well, I don't think he requested it. I think something happened.
He didn't request it. He just took the label maker and just
It could be
put his name right over
That
yours.
is something that he would do. I think.
Really?
But
why do you think that?
I don't think that was the case. I
Okay.
think what happened was they were doing office reorganization, and their office manager, the lovely JoJo, said Will doesn't work here anymore. I think that's, or he doesn't really. I mean, doesn't really, right?
Yeah.
Not really.
I don't know if you want me to agree with this.
He is, but I mean,
Half in, half out.
yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't really need a box anymore. We'll just give the, which, by the way, if there were boxes and there was more people than boxes, I would totally get. But the thing about it is there were numerous empty boxes that don't have labels on them. So I emailed sweet JoJo and I just said, do I not have a mailbox anymore? And I just got a response back today.
And she said,
I don't know what happened to your mailbox. That's weird. I went ahead and made you a new one.
oh.
So I have a mailbox.
So it's gonna be all in alphabetical order and then your name at the end.
I don't think
like an A-hole?
no, it was order of importance. Is
Oh,
how
okay.
it goes.
Okay.
It looks like.
Oh,
yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so I'll be at
you're
the
in
very
there.
end on the bottom right.
yeah.
Yeah, all the way at the end. So I have a mailbox again, which I know
It's
guess
not about
that's
the
what
mailbox.
I-
It's about it's the move and what it represents.
it's just the company. These companies are all, and not just CMG, just every company. I've worked for many. They're just all about inclusion, and they just do everything possible to to alienate. But
Do you think it was purposeful, or do you think it was just an oversight?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Don't
I feel
think
like
about it too much.
this is just me signaling
Yeah.
my weak position at this point. But I don't know. It just hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
and I shouldn't admit that, but it hurt my feelings.
That's okay.
And now I have it back, but now I feel like a wimp for complaining about it. I should have just been like, fine, take it on the chin.
No,
This is where
because
you're at.
then that sits with you and you would just be angry forever. Because I kind of had a similar situation where I was really mad about something and I was going to just take it on the chin. And I said, no, I'm gonna let this person know I'm not happy. And it ended up working out great.
What happened? It worked out. You just said it worked out great. And
It did. I just feel like I want to save it for the after show.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Yeah.
This is a good reminder as well that we are doing an extra. We do a half an hour here. That's free. Obviously, actually, it's really all free if you go on. You just have to wait a little bit. So it's kind of hard to explain, but we do a full hour here on YouTube. Radio St. Pete gets the half an hour, the clean cut
First
content. And then I release that as a podcast on my podcast feed, which is free 30-minute preview. Now, there is a Substack, which is a good way to support the program, by the way, hmbradio.substack.com. You'll get the full, uncensored, 1 hour audio only podcast. I know I consume my media mostly in audio format on my phone. So you have the ability to get it right on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock. Pretty much, I just go in, I upload it, boom, and I send it out. Now, there's also a benefit to being a free subscriber on Substack, which is an option, which is you will get the free 30-minute show on Wednesday. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You got it.
Yep.
So instead of waiting until Sunday for the podcast feed, you can get it on Wednesday, the free half an hour. And then obviously you get the full uncensored hour if you're a paid subscriber. You can wait until Sunday. This is complicated. And you can get the full thing for free on YouTube and Rumble. I'm a bad businessman. I'm trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out ways to do this. You can also super chat if you join us on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on YouTube. You can super chat there. We'll read your comments if you pay. just don't be too mean. Don't say like bad words that will get me, in trouble. I'd appreciate that. I don't even know if YouTube will let you do that. Will YouTube let you if it's in a super chat say like something, the word,
I don't know. I don't know if they
a
get
drawing of
banned or-
Muhammad?
I don't know. And you know what? I don't want to find out. How
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to know. We're dealing with enough stuff around here, so if we could just keep that off our plate, that would be fantastic.
That'd be really good. That would be really good. So, we do have a few minutes here, Anna, and I wanted to talk about the FEMA director.
Yes. This is a pretty crazy story.
So
Sadly, I'm not surprised.
We were told that this wasn't happening and this was a conspiracy theory, particularly in North Carolina. There was some accusations that maybe the federal response wasn't great for some people in North
I
Carolina.
didn't know there was a federal response.
Yeah.
Just kind of let it go. Let it
Um,
eat, as they say.
And I think Donald Trump said this during a debate or during an interview or something, and press jumped all over it. Said that's not happening. These are disinformation, misinformation, just all the tropes. They reflexively take the antithesis of what he's saying. And he does say a lot of BS sometimes, but sometimes he's right. It's not everything he says is wrong. And then this is why the press isn't trusted anymore. But a FEMA worker, and actually in Florida, and that's why I really wanted to talk about this, because it's local here.
Who is that guy?
That's Roland Martin.
He looks like a Roland.
Yeah, I don't remember what station he's on. Roland Martin. I don't remember. It might be his podcast now. But FEMA's supervisor, accused of telling staff to skip hurricane-ravaged homes that had Trump campaign signs, claims that it was not an isolated incident and that she has been hung out to dry. Her name is Marnie Washington.
That's not how you say it.
I think it is. How would you say that?
Marnie.
Okay, that's how it. I mean, gave an interview with Roland Martin, said that this is a company policy for FEMA for politically hostile homes. I guess I have the audio. Maybe we should just play that instead rather than me reading something about it.
Big him too.
Yeah. We'll share this tab instead. I got to make sure that the audio's on, and I believe it is. So hopefully everybody will be able to hear it.
So if you turn...
Nope, that didn't work. I forgot. You got to switch the inputs here. There we go. And boom.
Turned in reports to your supervisors that state political hostility.
That's her.
For the people in the field. Those reports exist.
Yes, that's her, Marnie Washington.
Yes, hence why I also sent you screenshots where they're deleting files now from my computer. So FEMA says they fired me, but I still have access to the systems and their applications. And while I was in an interview yesterday, I noticed that my files were being deleted in my name, and I could not have been doing that while I was talking to Madison. So FEMA is very well aware of the incidents that take place, not just with my crew, but with all of the crews in the state that's declared. And instead of just saying, hey, this is how we're going to mitigate it to protect our people, they decided to fire me and make sure Donald Trump knows that they are loyal to him because they fear retribution. The important thing is here, once we start seeing a trend, for example, if they just so happen to have these Trump campaign signs in front of
them. She's not denying it.
Oh, no. I mean, she got caught.
Yeah,
they put it in writing too, which is really crazy. Yeah. It was in a text message.
Yeah. My dad always told me, if you're going to threaten someone or do something shady, you always just say it. You don't write it down.
Never.
You don't email someone. So she's defending herself, because obviously this was just a small clip, but she's saying like, what is she's justifying her actions, saying like, yeah, they're enemies of the state. They love a fascist. Well, what is she claiming?
I think she's claiming that FEMA is throwing her under the bus, that this was a policy of the government to...
Oh, so she's like just the messenger.
She's the messenger.
It wasn't her idea.
She's being a good soldier and doing what she was told. And it's not just her. I think she's trying to maybe save her reputation that, it's not me.
This is a command from above.
This is a command from above.
Gotcha. Okay.
In their home. And that's the characteristic that's coming along with that. We have to proceed with precaution. So avoidance first and then de-escalation. And that's the thing. Our superiors know that. We have constant conversations about keep your people safe. If your people are uncomfortable, then just don't go.
So explain this to me, please. Explain this to me. Okay. So I'm just trying to understand what that means. So again, if I'm on a house, if I'm on a street and it has 20 homes, and there are 8 homes on that street with Trump signs, and my team has faced hostility from 3 of the homes that have signs. What happens next?
I inform my TFL, my direct report, hey, we're again experiencing hostile encounters. We're moving on to another street. We're not canvassing those homes.
So again, only for go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's the directive too. Like honestly, he has called me multiple times and says your job is to keep the team safe.
I'm sorry. When you say he, who's he?
Oh, Chad Hershey.
Okay, who's Chad Hershey?
The TFL my assigned TFL for this deployment.
So Chad Hershey has said, told you what?
That if your team is uncomfortable and they do not feel safe, do not go to those homes. Go and canvass the other homes. Your job is to keep these people safe. They need to be able to go back home safe.
Oh, safety, and the things you can get away with under the name of safety. And we will talk about that in just a second here. If you're listening on Radio St. Pete and the free podcast feed, we must say goodbye to you. Again, you can follow those instructions. Join us on Wednesday. That would be great. Live. You can super chat. You can do all that fun stuff. And otherwise, you can get the full broadcast on Sundays at midnight on willsyoutube.com, Rumble, Facebook, and that's it, actually. And Substack, hmbradio.substack.com. Thank you, freeloaders. Thank you, Radio St. Pete. Talk to you soon. And the rest of you, stay tuned. And we're back. This fucking safety thing, man.
I was just thinking if you substituted, instead of Trump signs, you said like we were experiencing some hostility from black people in the homes.
Yeah.
Pass over those homes and go help the whiteys because they're less hostile. Like,
yeah, it wouldn't work that way.
Yeah, right. So this is a different kind of discrimination. And what do they mean by hostile? Like someone is there to help them and they're gonna be like, fuck you. Like, I don't understand.
It's possible that there is very little trust for government agencies. It's hard to imagine, and this was in Florida too, by the way, that being in that situation that you're going to turn down, assistance. That's what I'd want to know too. Like what kind of hostile, what are you getting? What kind of
is
hostile?
It a rude remark? Is it, like how hostile?
You fucking idiot, about time. Is that one of those things? Because that's just, that seems like you got to take it on the chin there and provide customer service.
Well, what exactly are they doing? Are they cleaning up the property? Are they surveying damage? Are they writing checks? Like, what are they doing? You know what I mean?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But it's just the things you can get away with when you just say you're feeling unsafe. It's like, who's feeling unsafe? The people just got flooded out of their house. They're not feeling safe.
Probably
right
not.
now. And it's kind of part of the job. Sometimes when you're in customer service, I know I've been doing it a long time.
You interact with a Karen. I've interacted with a Karen. I don't really feel safe.
I don't feel safe. But you know what I did? I went, yes, ma'am. I understand. I'm sorry about that. Let me help you out here. And then sometimes they just need to express anger. Oftentimes you could guilt them, which was even better, where you could, kind of play the victim.
I too was flooded.
Well, what I would do is just be like, I know, I'm so sorry. But what was my move? I had a particular, I can't remember. My brain's garbage.
Usually you try to make it seem like your life is worse.
So
you go, I was also flooded. I couldn't even get out of my home and I'm part of FEMA. So I'm really, really sorry that this happened.
My baby's dead.
Yeah, my baby's dead. That's always a good one. That's a classic.
And then they just go, one. I'm so sorry.
It's funny because what's probably a better predictor of someone being hostile is not their political affiliation, but their haircut. I feel like that's a better predictor. For the woman, it's usually, it's short in the back. It comes a little longer in the front. It's like an angled bob. You know what I mean? The Karen cut.
Yeah, sure.
Where can I speak to a manager haircut?
Yeah.
That to me is a red flag. I feel like I can discriminate against those people and go, this person is a problem.
You gotta know,
This
you gotta
person is
know
about
for
to be a
sure.
problem.
Yeah. Well, it's a little frightening that this is happening. And again, it was something that was kind of talked about during either an interview or a debate or something. And they all just reflexively said that he's full of shit. But it seems like it's happening. It seems like it could, unless she could be lying too when she says that it's a company policy.
I'm going down. You're coming down with
Yeah,
me.
it could be.
Time will tell, and it's hard because she's saying that stuff is getting deleted. So
Yeah.
it's we don't know what is true, what is not true.
That's the crazy thing. So they got this new, obviously the new administration is being kind of put together now. He's naming, this cabinet and stuff like that. And Elon with Vivek Ramaswamy is on the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE Bureau, which I pointed out something to you and you didn't know.
Well, I didn't put it 2 and 2 together.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
I know what Dogecoin is or was, but
yeah,
to the moon. Yeah, I remember with the Shiba Inu dog.
Yeah, they call it a shit coin.
Coin.
Yeah, one of these garbage,
throwaway coins, but it's one of those things you invest in 30 different coins and one of them goes to the moon and you bought it when it's 0.0003 cents and now it's worth 50 a coin or whatever and now you're a bazillionaire.
Yeah, it just happened.
I get how this works.
A few people. I'm an investor in shit coin.
Yeah,
I know all.
I think I still have Ethereum, if that's even a thing.
Okay. I transferred.
That is a coin, right?
Yeah,
I feel like there's a DJ by that name, and I was like,
oh, really?
Like maybe it's Elenium. I get them confused.
I transferred all of my, basically the shit coins that I had into Bitcoin.
And
many of them I transferred at a loss, but now I'm pretty much broken even because Bitcoin hit like $95,000 today.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Holy Jesus!
It's on its way tracking back down again, and I thought about selling it, but I'm just gonna keep it. I'm probably not gonna buy any more, but I'm just gonna let it sit.
Just see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard predictions from people who supposedly know things that it's gonna be $1 million at a certain point. So if it gets there, then that would be a good, good retirement.
Yes.
If I get that far. If we get that far as a country.
Let's go back to the appointments. I know that Tulsi has just been named the
Department of National Intelligence.
Okay, what is how? That's not CIA director. Obviously, that's part of his cabinet. National Intelligence Director of National Intelligence.
I don't really know what that means.
Matt Gaetz is Attorney General.
I think he's gonna have to go through a confirmation hearing, but
that's who he selected. But the most important one that we need to talk about is what hottie with big jugs is going to be Trump's press secretary. Because to be honest with you, I kind of miss Sean Spicer a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember the guy who would eat the cinnamon gum? He'd like swallow it. And then he became a star on Dancing with the Stars.
That's right.
Which is where he belongs.
Yeah.
I know that everyone thinks, because it's true, that Kayleigh McEnany, she was like super hot. She's like, oh, she was the best.
Yep.
In my opinion, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, although a little grotesque looking, not the typical Trump. I kind of she was the best.
I kind of attracted to her in a weird way.
She was like, she just took no fucking shit.
Yeah.
She was just like so disgusted with everyone's questions that I found that really endearing.
Yeah.
Like I was just like, this bitch doesn't give up. Like she had absolutely no like emotional affect either way. If someone asked a question from, friendly fire, she would, with the same tone, she couldn't be moved an inch. She wasn't at all upset or, offended by a question. She was, I thought she was the best. Bring Sarah Huckabee Sanders back.
I want Alex Jones.
Oh my God.
I think that would be good.
Those press meetings would be like 8 hours long.
Yeah. It would exhaust them. I would like, for real, I think Michael Malice. I don't know if you know who that is.
I know who Michael Malice is.
Yeah. I think he would be good. He would be, he's very trollish.
We need like a hot chick with big jugs, though. I think that's what the people want. And can we bring up who they're thinking it might be?
Yes, I can do that.
27-year-old blonde bombshell. I think her name is
Caroline Levitt.
Yeah.
I've never heard of her. Let's learn about her.
She's one of those people that is pretty young, but they wear so much makeup that they look like someone's 40-year-old stepmom, like hot stepmom. It's really weird these days that a lot of times younger girls, they wear makeup, they look older than what they really are.
Yeah.
She just had a child, and apparently 4 days after she was done popping this baby out of her, she was back on like the campaign trail being a spokesperson for Trump's campaign.
Okay, so she worked in the campaign.
I mean, come on. You don't want to look at that every day. That's great, right?
Sure.
Answering questions. Maybe it'll kind of simmer down.
Is she gonna wear that outfit though? Or are they gonna be visible? Or is it gonna be more
get just like a hint?
It's gonna be something like this. We'll just have to have her stand-up profile so we can really get
a very pretty woman.
Those things. Yeah, she's all right.
You know,
I
all right. She's pretty good.
They're classically, obviously she's very attractive, but there's just, she's just a blonde chick,
just kind of like
hot
basic.
Blonde chick. Yeah.
What would you prefer in terms of say it has to be a woman? Real. One.
Okay. Yeah.
2 X's. What kind of give me an archetype of person or
that I would want
comparable celebrity, someone I would know.
Are you talking about that's my type?
Yeah, like someone that you would like to see in front of the press every day, where you'd be like, "Oh, it's nice, so and so's on. Let me just watch this."
I mean, I like Tulsi. I find Tulsi attractive. She's got those pockmark things, which I kind of dig that.
With the gray streak.
With the gray streaks, great.
Is that kind of hot in a weird way?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Nice.
I mean, she's getting a little old. I mean, she's getting a little too old now.
43.
Yeah. I know. Exactly. Get it? You understand?
I was making that look because
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm knocking on that door myself. I know, dude.
I believe me, I get it. I mean, no, she's good. She's gonna be fine. I would like to. It would be funny though if it was Alex Jones. I mean,
I would prefer a different Alex. I want Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy.
Oh, the chick from what's her name from that? Oh man, it's got the two chicks on it, and they're Russian. Red Scare.
Red Scare. I think one of them's name is Anna. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some Shmanamovich.
It would be fitting if it was somebody from the podcast world that was kind of like Theo Vaughn or something. Be the press secretary. That would be good.
Just go into one of his weird fucking monologues. Yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, I would like that. Tucker Carlson's name got brought up. He's declined.
As press secretary? Yeah. He would be great.
He would be. It would be interesting. Yeah, I don't think he wants that job though. I've heard him already decline that one. But yeah, it's an important job. I mean, you're kind of like the mascot of the administration. You're facing the press every day. It's obviously going to get really hostile again. It's got to be a really tough job. So
did you see what Peter Doocy asked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, whatever her name is?
No.
It was actually really funny. He goes, he asked a question. He goes, so I saw that Vice President Harris and President Biden had a private lunch today, and she's like, yeah. And he goes, how awkward was that? And she was like, what? Why would it be awkward? And then he goes to explain, well, since he was ousted by the Democratic Party and put her in. Yeah. It was just so funny because it was just he wanted the tea, but it was at a press. You could hear people laughing. It was just a great question.
Well, the dictator's here,
smirky look on his face,
and he's ended democracy, so it must be kind of an uncomfortable time.
He's like, right? How awkward was it? She was just like, what?
She just said no. I wonder if I can find that.
Yeah, you definitely can. She's just like, why would it be awkward? What do you she's trying to buy time. She's confused by the question. Why would you ask that? But the people want to know. It's a good question. But
is
it made
this
me laugh.
one?
No, it's definitely not that one.
Oh God.
Fascism.
Well, I thought maybe it had something to do with him saying, well, he's a fascist, right? Nope, this is not. Come on, man. I thought Twitter was.
If you go on I think I saw it on New York Post. If you go on New York Post and just write
it's gotta be.
It's probably on Twitter somewhere. Just yeah.
I'll just put awkward in
See
there.
what pops up.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Very good. We'll share this tab instead, and we'll add it to the stage, and we'll play it for the people.
Mm-hmm.
We know that today, a week after the election, President Biden and Vice President Harris had a private lunch. How awkward was that?
I don't even understand. Why would it be awkward?
Because
Why would
the
it
president
be,
got
why would-
squeezed out
why
for
would
her,
you-
and then she kept him at arm's length, and then she lost,
Well,
and now she's back.
why would you characterize it as awkward? They have regular lunches. They meet and talk regularly. Why would you
So there's
call it
no
awkward?
weirdness about the way that things have unfolded.
Did
since
you
July
see them?
21st.
Did you see them together yesterday as well when they honored our veterans and were together?
Okay, so it wasn't Trump. It was Kamala and Biden. And,
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Trump.
No.
I
He said
understand.
Biden and Harris had a lunch, and he's like, "How awkward was it?" It was just really funny, and his straight face the whole time. It's just great.
During the day, making sure that we didn't forget the brave men and women that fought for this country. Did you see them together yesterday? Did you see the show of force together? This is. I'm not even going to take the premise of the question. What I will say is, the president and the vice president had lunch today. They've had lunch many times. They have. They communicate with each other regularly. They had an opportunity to discuss the last 70 days or so of this administration, how important it is to get things done for the American people. And that's their focus. That is genuinely their focus. Yes.
Thank you, Corinne.
I feel like they love hate each other. Those two. Like she's
Mm.
like, "God damn it, Peter! What the fuck?" And then
Well, you must form a relationship.
yeah.
Even I mean, I'm sure they don't really like each other very much, but they must form some sort of relationship.
Yeah.
Just over that 4 years.
Right.
Well, she hasn't been there the entire 4 years.
No, it was Jen Psaki for
Jen Psaki,
2
that's right.
years.
Who's now an MSNBC anchor.
Yeah, I saw that.
How do people not see this stuff? Oh, I remember.
Oh.
I remembered. So I was listening to Mo
Why?
after
Okay.
after I came when I was going to the radio station, changed my password.
Yeah.
So Spike is. I like Spike. I think he's funny, and he annoyed the piss out of me, because there was even tweets he used to respond to me that weren't political that he would make political, and I was like, okay, I can't do this
You
anymore.
blocked him.
I did block him, yeah. And I didn't really like Spike the first few times, but he kind of grew on me over time.
Mm.
And Spike is very anti Donald Trump. I don't know if you know this or not.
I think you did tell me this.
To the point where it's just every word out of his mouth is something anti,
Let me hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Where does Mo stand? I feel like Mo is probably MAGA.
No,
Like 'cause Mo likes to be what you wouldn't expect. What's your favorite band or artist? You know what I mean? You'd be like, what? I didn't see that.
I don't think he's very political.
Okay.
I don't even know.
I feel like he has to be.
I don't
Maybe he
know.
keeps it close to the chest.
And I guess he was saying that his show, he doesn't really get into the politics thing, or
Mhm.
I don't know how you avoid it, but yeah, he managed to, especially with Spike spouting off at the mouth. So Spike said the funniest thing. And I want to give Spike the benefit of the doubt because he's from Lake City. He's from the South.
Where is
he kind of
that?
has a thick accent. It's north of Ocala. It's like,
North of Ocala. So it's more north, but more south.
it's the
you
South. Like it's very rural,
Okay.
part of Florida.
Gotcha.
Sometimes when people hear the Southern accent, they automatically assume because they sound kind of dumb.
I don't think that.
Okay. I do.
Oh,
And I catch myself because I've had interactions with people that they sound dumb, but they're actually pretty smart. Spike said that he is more educated than anybody who voted for Donald Trump.
what does he mean by that?
Poorly educated. And then he brought up I don't know. I've heard that it's not real, but that Donald Trump would run as a Republican because they're uneducated.
I saw that quote from like the
That-
80s.
And I don't think something tells me that's not a factual quote, but he keeps bringing that up. And he says that he is more educated than anybody who voted for Donald Trump. So I texted Mo and I said, can you give him an IQ test?
Well, that's not
on-
educated. That doesn't mean educated. He didn't
I
make that
sup-
claim.
I
He didn't
suppose
say
so.
I'm smarter. He said I'm more educated.
No, I think he said verbatim smarter.
Okay.
Too.
Well, you said educated. Just
Well, I think he's maybe because he's not very
Inferring.
smart. he conflates the two.
okay.
But I want to see Spike take an
Does he
IQ test.
Does he have like 3 PhDs? Is he an MD and a JD and I just don't know it? And
Yeah, I don't think so.
oh, okay.
I don't. Something tells me no. I think he did go to school. I know he's a University of Florida fan. I don't know if he went to the University of Florida. And Florida now, I mean, it's changed since he's an older guy. I don't know what his graduating class was, but he claims to have graduated college. And UF now is borderline Ivy League. You have to have like a 4.8 GPA and not be white if you want to get in there.
Can I sidebar this conversation with sports?
Yeah.
I heard that Florida is like a 0-11, 11-0 loss or something. Like
they're not good.
No. I mean, all the sports teams in Florida lost this last week. Did you hear that?
Well, Miami Dolphins,
FSU, Buccaneers, like UF or whatever. Like all of the teams lost, and the Miami Dolphins are the last hope.
Miami Dolphins won.
Oh, they did? Okay.
So they saved Florida.
Woo. All right. Sorry. Back to Spike being a dumbass. Your words, not mine.
That's not what I said. How interested would you be to get the results from that test?
From an IQ test?
Yeah.
Have you gotten an IQ test?
Nope.
Would you ever get an IQ test?
Sure.
I don't know my IQ. I would never get an IQ test.
Why not?
Because it 100% will not be as high as I would like it to be.
Yeah.
And every time I run into a pickle, I'll go, this is why I can't solve it, because I'm fucking retarded.
Well, IQ is like problem solving, right?
Yes.
It's like kind of math and
intelligence quotient. Thank you, Pillow Pants.
Pillow Pants. He said, okay, we got a super chat from Pillow Pants. I heard there was a urine aroma in the Bone studio today.
Oh, yeah?
Oh no.
Someone
okay,
pissed
so who could
themselves?
that be?
You think it was Spike?
I mean, he's probably number one suspect.
He suffers from like incontinence.
There was also I don't know. I don't know anything. Like I only listened because I was driving in the car. I don't listen to the Bone unless I'm, driving around.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's ads. So most of the time I'm sitting in silence driving. But so there was a bloody napkin too that somebody left. And I think that was Spike.
Like from your nose?
It's just blood. I don't know.
Like it was like in a nose?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
That needs to get tested ASAP.
I would agree.
Disgusting.
And you could get that. There's obviously DNA there.
All right, back to your IQ. You would happily take a test. Do you have an idea of where you think you would be?
I'm slightly like 109.
That's funny because that was Bubba's. You're
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, because he would always go, I'm 109 strong.
Well, he's probably lying.
I mean, that is very likely. But in the event that he is telling the truth, I think you're like between 130. I think you're smarter than you think you are. I think you're probably like low 130s. I think that's maybe where I am.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little lower than that. I don't want to know.
130. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
if somebody
great.
brags about their IQ, that means you're stupid, by the way. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that's
Well, I don't know what
that's
mine
there
is.
was this comedian when I was running open mics that claimed they had 190 something IQ.
Well, that's
and I was like,
insane.
No, you don't. You definitely do not. 193, I think he said. I've been tested. He was the stupidest person that I've ever met.
Was he Asian?
No.
Okay.
Nope. Not of the Asian variety. I'll tell you that much.
I think if you brag about your IQ, it could be that you do in fact have an IQ. You might be telling the truth, but you undoubtedly have a low EQ. For sure. You are autistic, probably.
Oh no, my light just went. I was wondering if I was going to make it through the whole hour.
Why have you been having? Is it needs a bulb change or something?
It's one of those. I bought a light because it's obviously dark now, and you need to have a light, to see. And I'm cheap. I have it in my nature. I can't help it, and I tend to buy things cheap. And then when I get them, I go, "This fucking thing is cheap. It doesn't even work." So unfortunately, the light that I bought cannot make it through the length of a full program, it would appear. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Almost. I mean, it almost made it. About 6 minutes short. So the last few minutes will just be dark. Thank you, Garrett. Spike's YouTube channel wouldn't get super chats. Yeah. Hell yeah. I like that. Does Spike even do a show anymore? The Spike on the Mic show.
Don't ask me. I
I
don't know.
always admired his ability to hustle those people to. He had like a full setup. He had a guy come out with a huge mixing board. Like,
where was it? Like Buffalo Wild Wings?
yeah, you would do it like on different
Hooters.
locations, and he had like a giant it was way too many people.
Like how many?
Oh my god, he had
Like
like 10
10?
people. Yeah.
Every
All on
broadcast?
microphones. Yeah. It was insane. I listened to it.
Wait, who were some of the players on the mic?
Clark Brooks was one. He's a comic.
I don't know who that is.
PW was a guy who was like the engineer and the producer, but he would drag out like expensive equipment,
Yeah.
For that show, which,
God bless him.
it was nice.
Yeah.
And I was just amazed that he was able to hustle all those people to show up. But it was a fun day. I don't think he does that show anymore though.
Some people aren't embarrassed to ask for favors, and I really respect that because I feel wildly uncomfortable asking anyone to do anything just mildly out of their way for me.
Right.
So if someone's like, "Hey, can you?" Bubble would do that all the time, and I mean, I could go into a lot of detail about that, but people were happy to volunteer their time and their money and their efforts.
Yeah, but
to help him.
You're comparing, a credible, credentialed media figure, and maybe now waning, in the past decade, but a very popular, did a lot in the business, knows a lot of people, to Spike.
I understand, but we're talking about just asking for stuff. Like, even if I was like successful, I would feel weird asking for stuff, especially the more successful I was, I would feel like I would just want to pay people for their services. But some people don't feel uncomfortable at all being like, hey, can you do this? Can you do that?
He is one of those people.
Kind of pushy people that I'm just like, I find that very obnoxious.
They get free stuff.
Yeah, but it works.
They ask for free stuff and then they get it.
If you ask, you shall receive sometimes.
Sometimes,
yeah.
I don't know how often they get no's, but yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I forget where I was going. I think that was it. I just thought it was interesting that he said he's better educated than any Trump supporter.
That's a pretty broad statement, seeing as how, 85 million people voted for Trump, and he's more educated than all of them.
Yes, that's his claim.
That's what he claimed.
And he might be, like he said, if you're at an education camp, which you could maybe say that MSNBC is one, and I'm sure he just watches that and just regurgitates what Dave's.
Does he mean formally educated? I just want to know what he means by educated. Like, I read the news more? Or
I think he watches MSNBC is what I gather, is what my feelings on
because he has all the intel that
everyone else brought up, he brought up that, he's a criminal and he's been, that Trump, not Spike.
Oh, I thought he was like
that they voted for a criminal and that's stupid. And, he doesn't understand. I don't know if he doesn't understand or is just not willing to entertain the idea of lawfare and what you can do in the courts to your political enemies. Now, the question I would ask him is, let's say that Trump does the things that they claim he's going to do, or start prosecuting his enemies, and they're found guilty in courts. What does that mean are they bad people too, and you shouldn't vote for them, or is it politically? I have a feeling he would say that it was politically motivated.
Rigged, yeah.
But
then, of course, you don't say, well, everything that was thrown at Trump wasn't politically rigged.
Well, he's guilty. You see, yeah, because the news has confirmed
he's a convicted felon.
Right.
Right.
But I thought that was funny. We did have a bunch of stuff that we don't seem to get to, which is unfortunate. A woman killed her own father with an axe after being overwhelmed on election night. You can take a guess of what party that was. It was in Seattle. So I'm sure that,
I need more information than just the election.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Not excusing the axe murder, but I would just like more information.
Yeah. Well, the suspect's Facebook page contains several recent posts that she had concern about possible Donald Trump presidency and fear of religious zealots. So she went ahead and just, became a zealot herself and just started killing her father.
So she was living with her dad, who she knew didn't align with her political beliefs.
Oh, this is something else. Duluth man kills two sons, wife, and ex before killing himself. That was the one who was worried about Trump being a religious zealot. Oh, so there's been many of these. Oh, yes.
Trump is a religious zealot?
Dude, people are educated. They're very educated. You see, that's what I'm saying. The media is educated. Them.
Trump's a lot of things, but he ain't religious. I'll tell you that.
And then
He's not a man of God.
The ladies who are talking. They're not going to do it, but they're talking about poisoning
what
men.
Was it called the mathema or like what is it?
This ancient poison that apparently
yeah,
you can
but
make
it's like a MAGA, but in play on words.
Yes, yeah. And then there was the people who are just getting divorced. We had that story too.
That's it.
Matka movement, which glorifies poisoning men because we asked for it. Okay. And then there's people who are just being a little more rational, a little more sane, and just getting divorced because their spouse
shown the papers
voted the wrong way. We didn't get to that this week. Oh, we got the sexual perversion.
I didn't hear about this.
You didn't hear about the sexual perversion?
No. Can you give me some sexual perversion?
We can, or we could do it next week. I mean, this is evergreen.
Yeah, it's an evergreen.
So yeah, we got interesting. Okay, that'll be fun, and then we can go over our own weird stuff. I know you got some weird stuff.
You think so?
Yeah,
maybe, but also
we'll save it for next. See, that's incentive to tune in right there. I'll tell you that much. Thank you everybody for tuning in and joining us. Tell a friend. I mean, like tell a friend. I hate to beg for that type of stuff, but
beg.
That's always good. We're asking for favors.
Please, God, help us.
Yeah,
please.
Sign
We're gonna get hit with another hurricane.
We're gonna not get FEMA assistance.
Yeah,
it's gonna be bad. So make sure you head over to the Substack too. You can subscribe for free there, and you can get the free 30 minutes early right now. Because as soon as we get off here, Anna's gonna sit here awkwardly, and I'm gonna upload it and edit it and all that stuff real quick. So that's a good benefit to have. So thank you, and thank you to Pillow. Thank you. Garrett and
Garrett, sorry.
Yeah, Garrett.
Sorry.
Not Gareth. Garrett.
Oh, that's your friend.
That's my best friend.
Sorry about that, Garrett.
That's all right, Garrett. And I guess that's it. I don't want to go, but I kind of have to.
It's time
to go.
Give him an hour.
1 hour.
Give you an hour.
1 hour a week.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully we'll have a show next week if we don't get pummeled by Sarah. So we'll see. Yeah. Stay tuned and find out.
I'll keep it updated, follow the pages, and I'll keep you updated on the schedule, all that. Bye.
Bye.